request from one of my viewers to talk about the short heel measurement chart and how I use that in choosing a last. There's a short heel measurement chart in my book, the one that accompanies my DVD set, How to Make Cowboy Boots. I got this heel measurement chart from Jay Griffith, my old mentor, who used it, but it's very valuable when it comes to choosing last. Whenever I'm making a pair of cowboy boots, I choose the length of the last I want, and then I choose the width almost entirely by the heel width of the client and the short heel measurement, and that's where this heel measurement chart comes in handy. So let's say I have a customer's measurements and foot tracing in front of me, and I've looked at the foot tracing and looked at the last and decided that I need a size 5.5 length. So all I know is that I need a size 5.5 in length, but I'm not sure what width I need. It's at this point that I turn to the short heel measurement chart. My client measures 11 7/8 on both short heels, so I know I want a last that's going to be right around 11 7/8 in the short heel. So I'm going to go to the heel measurement chart, and on this particular chart I don't have an 11 7/8. I have an 11 6/8 and a 12. So I'm going to follow the 12 short heel measurement down till I reach a 5.5, which is a 5.5 double A. And that tells me that I probably want a 5.5 double A for this last. Let's say I had a customer who needed a size 8, and his heel measurement was 13 4/8. So I would go over to 13 4/8 and then follow that down until I get to 8, which is in the double E column. So now I know he needs an 8 double E for his heel measurement. If I had a customer who I knew needed a size 7 last, and their heel measurement was 12 6/8, I would go over to 12 6/8, follow it down until I hit a 7. That's in the C column, so I know I need a 7C. Once you know the length of last you need and the short heel measurement, you can use your short heel measurement, follow it down to the length that you want, and then see which column that's in for the width. And that will give you the width of the last that you need to get the short heel measurement you want for your client. One of the things you need to remember about the short heel measurement is you have just a tiny bit of leeway on the short heel measurement when you make your boots. If the chart says the short heel is 12, you can probably go anywhere from 11 7/8 to 12 1/8. There's a little bit of leeway in there, but basically your boot needs to set about 3/4 of an inch down the cone. When you look down into the lasted boot, you need to see about 3/4 of an inch of last showing. If there's more than that, the boot has fallen too far forward and it won't fit properly. And if there's not that much, the boot is too far back and the customer probably won't be able to get their foot in the boot. One thing to remember though, you can cut your patterns exactly right and choose exactly the correct last, and if you get your boot too wet before you last it, if you get it wet up in the ankle area, it will cause it to stretch and fall down the last. If you pull the boot too hard over the toe, you can pull the boot too far down the cone, and then when you last the heel in, it will be setting too far down. So there are variables with the short heel measurement. You have to be careful with your patterning and with your lasting. Just because you have the correct last with the correct short heel measurement doesn't mean it's automatically going to just perfectly fall into place. There are other things to think about as well. Again, with the short heel measurement chart, just remember you need the last length and you need the short heel measurement. Determine the short heel measurement that you need, find it on the chart, follow it down to this correct length of last that you want, and then follow that back across to help you determine the width of last that you need. I'm happy to announce that I have some new products. I've been carrying knives and lip knives for several years. The knives that I carried were a good value for the price, but they didn't arrive from the factory sharpened, which meant that I had to sharpen every single knife that I sent out. I'm buying my knives from a new supplier now, and they're pre-sharpened, which is making my life a whole lot easier. But, in even cooler news, They are all stamped with my logo. Every single knife is stamped Sorrell. I have little McKay knives with the angled blade, the square point knife, a flexible skiving knife, a large heavy-duty flexible skiving knife, right-handed lip knives, and left-handed lip knives.
If we make it through December, everything's gonna be alright. It's the coldest time of winter, and I shiver when I see the falling snow. If we make it through December, got plans to be in a warmer town come summertime. Maybe even California. If we make it through December, we'll be fine. My heart skips a beat when you walk down the street. My favorite trembling in my knee, just to know that you're mine until the end of time makes my heart skip a beat. Fall in love with the darling island. Although I'm sweetheart in this world, it's all for your sake that I need. Don't give your heart to a Rambler in the world. Wish I were down on some blue vine with a cane pole in my hand. The road I'm on don't seem to go, so I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. Got this Ramblin Fever long ago. I first heard it once, so old. Someone ever said every day but darn, well, the darn sure told you wrong. I've got a Ramblin Fever on. Ramblin Fever, kind of can't measure by degrees. Ain't no kind of cure for my disease. Yeah, T for Texas, T for Tennessee. T for Texas, T for Tennessee. And T for Thelma. Girl, I gotta be. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stone. There's something in a Sunday makes somebody feel alone. There ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound of the sleepy city sidewalk. Sunday morning
Okay guys, look at this. It's like a last graveyard. It's so sad.